What if I told you there are 17 plants that will come back year after year in pots, even if you're the type of person who kills silk plants? I'm about to share the ultimate lazy gardener's secret that will have your neighbors asking for your green thumb secrets. We're dropping 50+ lazy gardening secrets this month that will transform your outdoor spaces with minimal effort. And here's the deal. Also tell me what's the last plant you accidentally killed. Don't worry, after today those days are over. I've been gardening for over 30 years, and I've learned that the best gardens aren't the ones that require daily fussing. They're the ones that practically take care of themselves. These 17 perennials are my secret weapons. By the end of this video, you'll have a foolproof blueprint for containers that look professional but require almost zero maintenance. Wait until you see plant number 12. It literally gets more beautiful when you neglect it. Let's start with the plants that laugh at drought. These 5 superstars will make you forget everything you thought you knew about high-maintenance gardening. One, Sedum live forever. Sedum, also called live forever, truly lives up to its name, and trust me, that's not an exaggeration. This hardy, succulent perennial practically thrives on neglect. During the hot summer months, it only needs water about once every 3 weeks. The reason is simple. Those thick, fleshy leaves act like tiny water tanks, each one capable of storing weeks' worth of moisture. I've personally seen sedum survive 2 full months without a single drop of water, only to bounce back stronger, fuller, and even more colorful than before. The varieties are just as impressive as the plant's resilience. Take autumn joy, for example. It transforms into a stunning display of pink blooms each fall. Or dragon's blood, a variety that spreads like a living carpet, turning a rich red that looks dramatic in containers or garden beds. And then there's Metrona, standing tall with elegant clusters of pink flowers that attract pollinators. The best part? Sedum multiplies naturally. Start with 1 plant, and before long, you'll have a whole collection without lifting a finger. And here's a fun secret. When sedum is slightly underwatered, it actually stresses out and responds by producing even more vibrant colors. It's like the plant rewards your neglect. So, here's a question. How long do you think sedum can survive without water? Pause for a second, make your guess, because the real answer might just surprise you. 2. Lavender, the fragrant survivor. Lavender, often called the queen of herbs, isn't just beautiful, it's remarkably tough. Many people think this plant is delicate because of its dreamy purple blooms and soothing fragrance, but trust me, lavender is built for survival. In fact, this Mediterranean native thrives in poor, sandy soil and asks for very little in return. During summer, watering once every 2 weeks is usually more than enough. Why? Because lavender's narrow, silver-green leaves are naturally designed to reflect sunlight and reduce water loss. I've seen lavender survive weeks of drought and still put on a spectacular bloom when the rains finally return. The varieties are just as amazing. English lavender is famous for its classic fragrance used in oils and sachets. French lavender offers unique tufted petals that look like little crowns, and Spanish lavender grows into a bold showpiece with rich color. Here's the best part. Lavender isn't just pretty, it's practical. The flowers attract bees, butterflies, and other pollinators, while the scent naturally repels mosquitoes and moths. And just like sedum, lavender actually produces more intense fragrance when it's slightly stressed from less water. It's like the plant's way of thanking you for not fussing over it. So here's a fun challenge. Guess how many years a single lavender plant can keep coming back, season after season. I'll reveal the surprising truth in just a moment. 3. Russian sage, the silver ghost of the garden. Russian sage, often nicknamed the silver ghost, is one of those plants that look delicate but are actually built like warriors. With its feathery silver foliage and tall wands of violet-blue flowers, it gives any garden a soft, dreamy look. But don't let its beauty fool you. Russian sage thrives on neglect. In fact, it hates being pampered. Plant it in dry, sandy soil, give it plenty of sunlight, and watch it flourish with almost zero effort. During summer, watering once every 2 to 3 weeks is more than enough. Here's why. Those finely cut, silvery leaves act as natural reflectors, bouncing harsh sunlight away and conserving water. I've seen Russian sage endure scorching heat and long droughts, only to come back even bushier and more vibrant when the seasons turn. The varieties are equally charming. Blue spire grows tall and upright with elegant flower spikes. Little spire stays compact for smaller spaces, and denim enlace delivers extra-long blooms that look like floating clouds of lavender blue. The best part? Russian sage not only looks stunning but also attracts bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds, all while being deer and rabbit resistant. And here's the secret. The more you leave it alone, the more it thrives. So here's a question. How many months do you think Russian sage can bloom continuously in a single season? Pause and take a guess. I'll reveal the surprising answer shortly. 4. Hens and chicks, the multiplying marvel. Hens and chicks, also known as sempervivum, which literally means always alive, is one of the toughest little succulents you'll ever grow. The nickname comes from the way the main rosette, the hen, produces countless baby offshoots, the chicks, that cluster all around it. It's like a built-in family that just keeps expanding, turning one tiny plant into a colony of living jewels. Here's the beauty of it. Hens and chicks thrive in places most plants would give up on. Cracks in rocks, shallow pots, sandy soil. You name it, they'll grow there. They hardly need water, maybe once every few weeks in summer, because their plump leaves store all the moisture they need. I've seen them survive an entire season of neglect and still look fresh. The varieties are fascinating too. Some glow green with red tips, others turn purple, bronze, or even near black depending on the season. And when stressed by cold, heat, or a little underwatering, they show their most vibrant colors, almost as if rewarding you for leaving them alone. The best part? They multiply so quickly that you'll never need to buy more. One hen can give you dozens of chicks in a single year. So here's the challenge. Guess how many years a hens and chicks colony can keep growing without ever needing to be replanted. The answer might surprise you. 5. Catmint, the effortless bloomer. Catmint, often mistaken for lavender at first glance, is one of the easiest perennials you'll ever grow. With its soft, gray-green foliage and endless sprays of purple-blue flowers, it brings a calm, cottage garden vibe to any space. But here's the real secret. Catmint doesn't just look effortless. It actually is effortless. Plant it in full sun, give it well-drained soil, and it will thrive with almost no attention from you. In fact, Catmint is drought-tolerant and only needs water every couple of weeks during summer. Its aromatic leaves naturally repel deer and rabbits, but at the same time, the blooms are a magnet for bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. It's the kind of plant that works double duty, decorating your garden while boosting the ecosystem around it. The varieties are just as exciting. Walker's Low is famous for its long-lasting blooms. Six Hills Giant grows tall and dramatic, while Junior Walker is compact and perfect for pots. And here's something fun. If you give Catmint a quick trim after the first flush of flowers, it rewards you with a second bloom later in the season. The best part? Even if you forget to water or trim it, Catmint just keeps on going. It laughs at neglect and still manages to look like you've spent hours caring for it. So here's a question. How many months straight do you think Catmint can stay in bloom? Take a guess, you might be surprised at the answer. 6. Hosta, the Shade Garden Champion. Hosta, often called the Queen of the Shade, is one of the most reliable perennials you can plant if you want beauty without constant fuss. Known for its lush, broad leaves that come in shades of green, blue, and gold, Hosta transforms shady corners into vibrant, tropical-looking retreats. And here's the best part. Once you plant it, it practically takes care of itself. Unlike many sun-loving plants, Hosta thrives where other plants struggle. Under trees, along north walls, or in places with only dappled light. It's remarkably low maintenance, needing little more than occasional watering during dry spells. I've seen mature clumps survive neglect, only to return each spring bigger and more dramatic than before. The varieties are stunning. Patriot with its bold white-edged leaves, Blue Angel that spreads massive blue-green foliage, and some in substance with chartreuse leaves the size of dinner plates. Each one adds a unique flair. And when summer arrives, Hosta surprises you with spikes of delicate lavender or white flowers that attract hummingbirds. The magic of Hosta is in its patience. Each year it grows larger, filling spaces naturally and crowding out weeds. Once established, a single plant can last for decades, getting more beautiful with age. So here's a question. How many years do you think a single hosta can thrive in the same spot without needing to be divided? The answer will amaze you. 7. Coral Bells, the color chameleon of the garden. Coral Bells, or Heuchera, is the plant that proves foliage can be just as stunning as flowers. With its vibrant leaves in shades of lime green, deep purple, bronze, silver, and even fiery red, Coral Bells turns any garden bed or container into a living work of art. And the best part? These colors shift and intensify with the seasons, making it a true chameleon in the garden. What makes Coral Bells so easy to love is how little care it requires. Once planted in partial shade with well-drained soil, it practically thrives on neglect. A light watering every week or two in summer is usually enough. I've seen Coral Bells bounce back after dry spells, their leaves glowing even brighter when slightly stressed. The varieties are dazzling. Palace Purple is famous for its rich plum foliage. Lime Ricky adds a burst of neon green, and Caramel glows with warm apricot tones. And don't forget the delicate flower spikes, tiny bell-shaped blooms that rise above the leaves in late spring, attracting hummingbirds and butterflies. The real magic of Heuchera is longevity. These plants return year after year, expanding slowly into neat clumps that provide color long after many flowers fade. So here's a question. Which do you think steals the show? The bold leaves or the dainty coral flowers? Pause for a moment and decide, because with coral bells, you truly get the best of both worlds. Eight. Astilbe, the feathered jewel of the shade. Astilbe is proof that shady gardens don't have to be dull. With its feathery plumes in shades of pink, red, white, and lavender, this perennial turns dark corners into dazzling displays of color. The finely cut, fern-like foliage adds elegance even before the blooms appear, making Astilbe a plant that shines from spring through summer. What's amazing is how tough it really is. Many people assume such delicate flowers must require constant pampering, but the truth is, Astilbe is surprisingly low maintenance. Give it rich, moist soil, some afternoon shade, and it will reward you with season after season of spectacular color. I've seen Astilbe bounce back after being ignored during dry spells. Once watered again, the plumes return brighter than ever. The varieties are stunning. Fennel produces deep ruby-red flowers, Bridal Veil covers itself in soft white plumes, and Peach Blossom glows with warm pastel tones. Some varieties even rebloom lightly if you trim them after flowering. The best part? Astilbe spreads slowly, forming graceful clumps that return bigger each year. Once planted, it can thrive for decades without needing to be divided. So here's a question. How many weeks do you think Astilbe's plumes can stay in bloom, lighting up the shade garden? The answer might surprise you. 9. Japanese painted fern, the living watercolor. The Japanese painted fern is like a brushstroke straight out of an artist's palette. With its silvery fronds brushed with shades of green, purple, and burgundy, this fern doesn't just fill the shade, it paints it. Unlike ordinary ferns, which are plain green, the Japanese painted fern glows with a metallic shimmer that makes it look almost unreal in the garden. And here's the best part. Despite its delicate appearance, it's surprisingly easy to care for. Plant it in partial to full shade with moist, well-drained soil, and it practically takes care of itself. A little water during dry weeks is all it needs. I've seen these ferns return year after year, each season growing fuller, with the colors becoming more intense as the plant matures. Varieties are equally striking. Pictum is the classic silver and purple beauty. Regal Red shows off deep burgundy centers, while Ghost offers shimmering silver fronds that brighten the darkest corners. The magic of this fern is its longevity. It forms tidy clumps that spread slowly, creating an elegant ground cover in shaded beds or containers. And unlike many ferns, it holds its color well into the summer. So here's a question. Do you think the Japanese painted fern is more of a foliage plant or a living piece of art? Pause for a moment, because with this one, it might just be both. 10. Bergenia, the bold elephant ears of the garden. Bergenia, often nicknamed elephant ears because of its large, leathery leaves, is a plant that makes a statement in any garden. Those glossy, evergreen leaves form bold clumps that stay attractive all year long, turning shades of bronze or deep red in the fall and winter, adding seasonal drama when most plants are fading away. And here's what makes Bergenia so special. It's incredibly tough. This perennial thrives in sun or partial shade, tolerates poor soil, and needs very little water once established. I've seen Bergenia bounce back after weeks of neglect, the leaves still shining as if nothing happened. A little watering during dry spells is enough to keep it happy. The flowers are just as impressive. In early spring, tall stalks rise above the foliage, topped with clusters of pink, magenta, or white blooms that last for weeks. Varieties like Bergenia white glow with snowy blossoms. Winter glow brings rich rose-pink flowers and red-tinged leaves, while dragonfly sakura charms with delicate pale pink petals. The best part? Bergenia spreads slowly, creating neat ground cover clumps that crowd out weeds while requiring almost no maintenance. It's the kind of plant that works hard for you year after year. So here's a question. What do you think stands out more, the bold elephant ear foliage or the springtime blooms? Think about it, because with Bergenia you don't have to choose, you get both. "11. Black-eyed Susan, the golden smile of the garden. Black-eyed Susan, with its bright golden petals and dark chocolate centers, is like pure sunshine planted in your yard. This cheerful perennial lights up borders, meadows, and containers with its bold color, often blooming non-stop from midsummer straight into fall. Wherever it grows, it brings that classic wildflower meadow feel, carefree, natural, and full of energy. But here's the secret. Despite its radiant looks, Black-eyed Susan is one of the toughest, easiest plants you can grow. Once established, it needs very little water, thrives in average soil, and can handle heat, drought, and even poor conditions without complaint. I've seen them thrive in neglected corners where most flowers wouldn't stand a chance. The varieties are just as exciting. Goldsturm is the classic choice with golden yellow petals. Indian Summer offers oversized blooms that look like sunbursts, and Cherry Brandy surprises with deep red petals surrounding that signature dark eye. The best part? Black-eyed Susan is a pollinator magnet. Bees, butterflies, and even songbirds flock to it, turning your garden into a living ecosystem. And once you plant it, it reseeds and spreads naturally, coming back year after year, often in bigger and brighter numbers. So here's a question. How many weeks do you think Black-eyed Susans can stay in bloom without pause? Take a guess, because their staying power might just surprise you. 12. Lamb's Ear, the velvet carpet of the garden. Lamb's ear is one of those plants you can't resist touching. With its soft, silvery leaves that feel just like velvet, this perennial brings a unique texture to any garden bed. Kids love it, gardeners adore it, and visitors always reach down to stroke its fuzzy foliage. But here's the surprise. This gentle-looking plant is actually one of the toughest ground covers you can grow. Native to the Middle East, lamb's ear thrives in hot, dry conditions where other plants might struggle. Its woolly leaves aren't just for looks. They help the plant conserve water by reflecting sunlight and reducing evaporation. That's why once it's established, it hardly needs watering at all. I've seen lamb's ear survive weeks of drought and still look as soft and silvery as ever. The varieties are delightful. Helen von Stein grows extra-large leaves perfect for borders. Big Ears lives up to its name with oversized, plush foliage, and silver carpet spreads quickly to form a low-maintenance mat. In summer, tall spikes of lavender pink flowers rise above the leaves, attracting bees and butterflies. The best part? Lamb's ear is deer and rabbit-resistant, spreads easily to fill empty spaces, and requires almost no care. Plant it once and it will reward you for years. So here's a question. Do you think lamb's ear is grown more for its flowers, or for that irresistible velvety foliage? Pause and decide, because either way, it's a garden favorite. 13. Daylilies, the one-day wonder that never quits. Daylilies are often called the perfect perennial, and once you grow them, you'll see why. Each bloom lasts for just a single day, but don't let that fool you. These plants produce so many buds that fresh flowers appear day after day, often for weeks or even months. The result? A non-stop parade of color that can brighten any garden from early summer well into fall. What makes daylilies so incredible is how little care they require. They thrive in full sun or partial shade, tolerate drought, poor soil, and even neglect, yet still reward you with vibrant blooms year after year. I've seen old clumps of daylilies bloom faithfully for decades without ever being divided or fussed over. The varieties are endless. Stella de Oro is famous for its golden yellow blooms that rebloom throughout the season. Ruby Spider shows off massive red flowers, and Catherine Woodbury brings soft lavender pink petals with a sweet fragrance. There's a daylily for every color palette and every type of garden. The best part? Once planted, daylilies multiply, forming larger clumps that return stronger each season. They're the kind of flowers that look high maintenance but actually thrive on simplicity. So here's a question. How many different colors of daylilies do you think exist worldwide? The number might surprise you. 14. Ornamental grasses, the whispering souls of the garden. Ornamental grasses are the unsung heroes of the garden. While flowers steal the spotlight with bold colors, grasses bring movement, texture, and a sense of calm that no other plant can match. When the wind blows, their feathery plumes sway and rustle, turning your garden into a living landscape that feels alive with whispers. And here's the beauty. These grasses are tough survivors. Most varieties thrive in poor soil, need very little water once established, and laugh at drought. I've seen them planted on hot, dry slopes where almost nothing else will grow. Yet they flourish year after year with practically no maintenance. A quick trim in early spring is often all they need. The variety is breathtaking. Miscanthus offers tall, elegant plumes that glow in the late sun. Fountain grass, Sedum, forms soft, arching sprays, and blue fescue creates compact tufts of icy blue blades perfect for borders or containers. Some even change color with the seasons, turning golden or copper in autumn for a dramatic finale. The best part? Ornamental grasses provide year-round interest, fresh growth in spring, flowers in summer, fiery hues in fall, and graceful silhouettes in winter. So here's a question. Do you think grasses are more beautiful in summer bloom, or when they stand like golden sculptures in the winter garden? Pause and decide, because with ornamental grasses, every season tells a story. (15) Coneflower, the resilient beauty with healing power. Coneflower, or echinacea, is one of those plants that manages to be both strikingly beautiful and incredibly tough. With its daisy-like petals radiating around a bold, spiky cone, it brings vibrant color and structure to any garden. From midsummer through fall, these blooms stand tall and proud, swaying gently in the breeze like garden guardians. But here's the secret. Coneflowers aren't just pretty, they're survivors. Native to the prairies of North America, they thrive in poor soil, endure long droughts, and laugh at the summer heat. Once established, they need almost no care at all. I've seen them bloom year after year in the same spot, only getting stronger with time. The varieties are dazzling. Magnus shows off rich purple petals. White Swan adds elegance with creamy white blooms, and modern hybrids like Cheyenne Spirit explode in fiery shades of red, orange, and yellow. Each one brings its own personality to the garden. The best part? Coneflowers are pollinator magnets. Bees, butterflies, and even hummingbirds flock to them. And when the petals fade, the seed-filled cones become natural bird feeders for goldfinches. Beyond the garden, Echinacea is also famous for its traditional use in herbal remedies, especially for boosting immunity. So here's a question. Do you think coneflower's greatest gift is its beauty in the garden, or its healing power beyond it? Think about it, because this plant truly gives you both. (16) Hellebore, the winter rose that defies the cold. Hellebore, often called the Christmas rose or Lenten rose, is nothing short of magical. Just when the garden seems lifeless in late winter or early spring, these brave blooms push through the frost and snow, opening their nodding flowers when almost nothing else dares to grow. It's like a quiet promise that spring is on its way. Despite their delicate, rose-like appearance, hellebores are remarkably tough. They thrive in partial shade, prefer rich, well-drained soil, and once established, they need very little care. I've seen clumps of hellebores bloom for decades in the same spot, shrugging off frost, deer, and rabbits as if they were no threat at all. The varieties are breathtaking. Christmas rose, Hellebore niger, produces pristine white flowers that often bloom around the holidays. Lenten rose, Hellebore orientalis, offers blooms in shades of pink, purple, yellow, and even near black, often freckled with charming spots. Hybrids today bring double blooms, ruffled petals, and a rainbow of colors that make them true collector's treasures. The best part? Hellebores are evergreen in many climates, with their leathery leaves providing structure year-round. They're long-lived, graceful, and each year they return stronger and more abundant. So here's a question. What amazes you more? The fact that hellebores bloom in the dead of winter, or that they can keep thriving for 20 years in the same spot? Think about it, because this plant is truly timeless. (17) Evergreen sedums, the succulents that never sleep. Evergreen sedums are proof that beauty and toughness can go hand in hand. Unlike many perennials that fade away in winter, these low-growing succulents keep their charm all year long. Their fleshy, jewel-like leaves form colorful mats of green, blue, bronze, or red that hug the ground like living carpets, even in the coldest months. What makes evergreen sedums so extraordinary is how little care they demand. Plant them in full sun with well-drained soil, and they'll thrive where most plants would give up. Watering, maybe once every few weeks in summer. Their thick leaves act like tiny reservoirs, storing enough moisture to keep them going through heat or drought. I've seen evergreen sedums survive weeks of neglect, only to bounce back with even richer colors. The varieties are captivating. Sedum rupestre Angelina glows chartreuse and turns golden orange in fall. Sedum spurium dragon's blood carpets the ground in red, and Sedum reflexum stays fresh green with needle-like foliage. Together, they make perfect partners for rock gardens, containers, or borders. The best part? These sedums multiply naturally, spreading into dense mats that choke out weeds and add year-round texture. And here's a secret. When stressed by sun or dry soil, their colors intensify, turning your garden into a tapestry of unexpected brilliance. So here's a question. Do you think the greatest gift of evergreen sedums is their drought-proof resilience, or the fact that they stay alive and colorful 12 months a year? As we wrap up, let me leave you with 3 essential lazy gardener shortcuts that make all the difference when growing perennials in containers. First, remember that good drainage is everything. More plants die from too much water than from drought, so always choose pots with real drainage holes. Second, size truly matters. Small containers dry out too quickly in summer and freeze solid in winter. For hardy plants, aim for pots at least 16 inches wide. Your plants will thank you with stronger, longer-lasting growth. Finally, don't cut corners on soil. Skip garden dirt. It's too heavy and suffocates roots. Avoid cheap potting mixes that trap water. Instead, create a plant-and-forget blend. A high-quality potting mix improved with 1/3 perlite for drainage and about 10% compost for steady nutrition. Master these 3 shortcuts and you'll have containers that practically take care of themselves. Proof that gardening really can be effortless.